Alright guys, now we're gonna do example 3, which is on the other end of the spectrum. It's one of the harder problems you're gonna have. You have polynomials on the bottom, you have variables on the top, you have adding and subtracting of fractions, so we're gonna have to find the lowest common denominator. That's gonna be the first thing we do. Now on this one, if you notice, this factor is shared and this factor is shared. So this right here actually already is your lowest common denominator. Now we have to put everything under that denominator. So this first equation, if we just multiply it times x plus 1 over x plus 1, which is the equivalent of 1, we'll end up with the right denominator. On this side, we multiply it times x minus 4 over x minus 4, we'll also end up with the right denominator. So we're going to go ahead and do that. We're going to end up with x plus 1, x plus 2 equals 30. Remember, we don't do anything to this denominator, plus 4x minus 4. Now, this is going to be the denominator. We'll bring it in later if we need it. Save us some room by not writing it down. Let's go ahead and multiply everything out. So we're going to end up with x squared plus 2x plus x plus 2 equals 30 plus 4x minus 4. So all I did was multiply this 4 times both of those and then do FOIL here where I multiplied everything times everything else. Now there's a few terms I'm going to be able to put together. I'm going to have x squared plus 3x plus 2 equals, the 30 and the 4 can go together. We get 26 plus 4x. Now here we can bring the denominators back if we want to, but you're going to see something cool in a minute. So the denominator was x plus 1, x minus 4, and here again, x plus 1, x minus 4. Since they have the same denominator, that means we can add or subtract them. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring this guy over to this side, set it equal to 0, then we'll end up with a quadratic equation. So I have x squared plus 3x plus 2 minus 26 plus 4x equals 0. Now I'm missing the denominator here, but I actually don't need it because it doesn't matter what the denominator is. If the top is 0, the bottom, the whole thing is going to be 0, right? 0 over a million, 0. 0 over 1, 0. So all we have to do is make sure the top is equal to 0. Again, there's a couple terms we can put together. We end up with x squared plus 7x plus 2 minus 26 is minus 24 equals 0. So now let's make sure that's what the book has. X squared. Yes, hi Gunnar. It's not, and you guys aren't here to correct me, but I just realized what I did wrong. Over here, I multiplied 4 times both of these. What's 4 times 4, Alicia?
4 times 4 is 16.
16. And I had put 4, which means I was wrong. So 30 minus 16 is actually 14, which means over here we had minus 14, which changes this side. If we have 2 minus 14, we end up with negative 12. Let's make sure everything else we did was correct. Plus 4x, brought it over to this side. This should have been minus 4x because we subtracted the whole thing. So 3x minus 4x would have actually been minus x. So we should have x squared minus x minus 12. And if you go look at the problem right about halfway, you'll see they end up with x squared minus x minus 12. So we have a quadratic equation. 2 choices. Either use the quadratic formula or find factors. What would we need factors of? Well, 1 times negative 12 is negative 12. What do we need them to add up to? Negative 1. So I need 2 numbers that multiply to negative 12 and add up to negative 1. 3 and 4 are 1 apart, right? Which is going to be negative. The 4, we need the bigger number to be negative. So I'm going to continue this guy up here. We're going to end up with x squared plus 3x minus 4x minus 12 equals 0. Okay? Now this and this are exactly the same because 3x minus 4x is negative x. Now we're going to factor. What can we take out of these guys? X. So we end up with x plus 3. What can we take out of these guys? Negative 4. We end up with x plus 3. Again, parentheses are the same, which means the trick worked. So we do x minus 4, x plus 3 equals 0. So what are our two values? X equals 4 or x equals negative 3. Now before you commit to those answers, remember that we have to make sure that they don't give you a denominator of 0. We're going to worry about this denominator, which was the lowest common denominator. 4 minus 4, 0. So that's not going to work. This one's going to be extraneous. Hopefully the other one is not. Negative 3. Negative 3 minus 4, negative 7. That works. Negative 3 plus 1, negative 2. That also works. So our solution is actually negative 3. Positive 4 is an extraneous solution. Okay? That's the hardest you should have, really. Okay? Just remember to find lowest common denominator.